Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm really happy to be bringing you this video talking about this tool right here, this base, this foundation for assembling and disassembling and maintaining and cleaning, etc., AR-15 type rifles. And my goodness, my first impression, too long didn't watch, is I love this thing. It is amazing. It is almost worth the price of admission. However, it isn't for everybody. But if you're an extreme hobbyist, if you have your own little workshop like I do, if you are a professional armorer or gunsmith, and you're getting a lot of rifles coming through your shop, this is something that you might be interested in. I tried to purchase this from Present Arms Inc. and I wasn't able to because I would be like the 30th in line. So this is a hot item, extremely hot, and I was able to pick this up and get lucky with it. Now, before I begin, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Jenkins. I believe that I spoke with you on the phone, or I spoke with him on the phone, and he's incredibly kind and generous. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking my phone call on a weekend. I called you on accident in my defense, but you answered the phone call and you answered all my questions, and you were incredibly kind and generous. And and of course, this is a veteran-owned company. Present Arms Inc. is a veteran-owned company. I think 3 or 4 guys, run that company. And it's always, of course, I just support the troops no matter what, but it's always fantastic and wonderful to see veterans come home and create products that, people like me are going to find incredibly useful. It's going to make our lives easier, our jobs easier. It's going to get people interested into the hobby. It's going to make our world, our circle of our community, our firearm community, just more accessible, because it can be intimidating doing a lot of this stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So my initial impressions is I absolutely love this thing. The pictures are a little bit misleading because this thing, it's like a plasticky type material, but this is really, really hard. It's really, really heavy duty. This thing can, you can bang it up, and really, do some work on this thing. And I'm not going to have any fear that this thing is going to crumble or fall apart or anything. It's made out of some recycled type material. And this is the final product. Now, the pictures are, for whatever reason, deceptive, because this is really, really well made. This is the quality, the finish of this is absolutely fantastic. And just to put this in perspective, like the size, this is a Galaxy S21 Ultra. There it is. So, so it's not that big, but, just because it's small does not mean it's not going to get the job done, because it absolutely will. So essentially the way that this platform works is it operates with, of course, a foundation, which is the gunner's mount, and then to start doing things like assembling or disassembling or cleaning a firearm, you need blocks or posts. So this is the upper receiver block. This is a fantastic product, and the way that you interface or the way that this works in conjunction with the gunner's mount is you simply just align these little metal rods here with these holes, and then it just drops right in, and then you're done. Now this thing is ready to rock and roll. It really is that simple, and you can essentially move it wherever you want. And this is fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate to you how the upper receiver post works. It's really, really simple. So what I like to do, or what you should be doing, is you're going to go ahead and drop in a clean upper receiver. Of course, you're not going to have the bolt or anything in there. And so you want right here, this portion of the upper receiver that interfaces with the rear pivot pin or the rear takedown pin. You essentially want to drop it in, but you want this to align with this right here, right where I'm pointing. This is where the included pins, which are right here, that's where they go. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do this on camera, give you the exposed view. Oh boy. Okay, so theoretically the pin should go in because it looks pretty aligned to me. Oh, yeah. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and put in the other one. All right, so now what can we do now that we have a somewhat stripped upper receiver on here? Well, quite a few things. If this is a genuinely stripped upper receiver, you can do quite a few things here. So first off, this workbench is completely leveled. So if you're going to be mounting an optic on here, You want the most level surface, most level surface possible, of course. And I have complete and total access to the rail here on the upper receiver. Of course, if I'm going to be installing a barrel, hand guards, doing maintenance of any sort on this end of the upper receiver, I have access to it. And this is a really, really stable platform. This isn't going anywhere. This is held down really, really, really tight. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and flip it around and talk about what we can do on this end. Well, there is a cutout right here for a pin to kind of fall down and not fly all over the place. So you can go ahead and drive out the pin here for the forward assist. You can replace the forward assist, lubricate, put a little bit of grease on the springs, just make sure that it is functioning properly. And I'm not sure if you can install a what's it called? A dust cover on here, but you have these little nylon black posts that kind of just protrude out. They're not that big. So for whatever reason that you would want to, you can have the dust cover down, and it's not going to go completely down. It's going to be kind of raised up a little bit towards you. I suppose if you're going to be engraving something here, you're going to be engraving, the rear of the upper receiver, or you're going to be engraving the dust cover in more of an upward position towards you, and it's going to be on an incredibly stable platform. It's not going to go anywhere. Other than that, I don't really know why you'd want to do this. I guess if it holds it a little bit up closer to you, it's possible it might be easier to install. I have not installed a dust cover onto this thing. I just got it about 2-3 weeks ago, and man, this freaking awesome, man. I absolutely love this thing. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and set that aside right here. We already talked about that. Let's talk about this guy right here. This can be used in quite a few ways. You can just, again, this is the Present Arms Inc. AR-15 magazine post. So of course it looks like a somewhat of an AR-15 mag, and you can put this just about anywhere. The way that I intend to use this is to see a lower receiver onto it the way that it was intended to. And of course there is this little like a rotating puck, and you can spin it around like this with almost little to no effort, and that's incredibly useful when you're cleaning a rifle, inspecting a rifle, doing some sort of maintenance with it. But of course, if you place it anywhere on here, it's incredibly stable. It's really, really stable, and it's really, really nice. One thing to look out for and to be mindful of is that the AR-15 magazine post, it really is specifically designed for mil-spec lower receivers. If you got the fancy, expensive, high-end, etc., billet receivers, you might have some issues. You might have some issues because of the fitment. But right here I have a mil-spec-y type lower receiver, and these cutouts here, they interface with the magwell. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm depressing the magwell, and now it's not going to come out. Ugh. So yeah, it's on there pretty good. Very, very little wobble. It's to be expected. And right now I have access to the, I can install a trigger quite easily if I wanted to. I can install, the magwell. I can do some work on the, whatchamacallit. Oh my goodness, why am I blanking out on this? Why am the bolt catch? Goodness, you can do quite a bit here. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't have the rotating puck yet. I'm gonna have to get that ordered, hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, I'm not done with this yet. Let me show you another really cool feature of the gunner's mount. Let me go ahead and set that down. We have a major cutout right here, and I didn't think too much of this feature. I didn't really care too much for it when I was reading about it and watching some of the demonstrations, but it's a lot more useful now that I see it and now that I have this in front of me. So essentially this is meant for magazines. You drop in a magazine, you can go ahead and depress the button at the bottom of this magazine, remove the spring, lubricate it, clean it, remove dust, debris, dirt, etc. And I like the solution way better than using any of my fancy vices because, well, let's just be honest with ourselves. Vices they can really chew up your products. They can chew up your firearms. They can chew up your tools. Especially the magazines. Well, granted, the aluminum D&H magazines are really well made. A lot of the you know, the Magpul stuff is really well made as well. You know, the magazines are really, really great, and they're going to hold up with, you know, they can deal with a lot of abuse, but if you don't have to chew up your stuff, you don't do it. Just don't do it. I want my stuff to look really nice. I like to take care of my things and baby them. That's just how I roll. And this is a really fantastic solution. This is incredibly easy. With just, you know, just one of these pins here, I can go ahead and, you know, remove the bottom portion of this magazine, disassemble it quickly, and you know, get to work on maintenance and cleaning. I absolutely like it. I absolutely like it, just plain and simple. There's a lot of real estate over here, though. I would have liked to have seen at least 2 more. That's just me, though. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this right here. So we have a channel, the slight cutout for, what's it called? Charging handles. So I'm going to go ahead and place that over here. And it seats really, really well. Let me see if I can shake this up. Yeah, it's barely moving, guys. It's barely moving. It's in there really well. And this should, theoretically, interface with the majority of charging handles, even the larger ones, the enhanced ones. You know, they basically got little wings sticking out. And what you can do here is drive out the pins. So if you want to go ahead and remove the pin, take out the spring, take out the little latch or the buttons, you can go ahead and do that. You can clean them up, remove the debris, go ahead and apply either grease or whatever lubricant that you trust, and then of course reassemble it again. And when you go ahead and drive the pins, you know, I'm going to go ahead and set that block aside. When you go ahead and drive the pins, they're going to fall in any of these holes here, and they're not going to fly around or go missing. That's a really, you know, yucky experience. Never again. So yeah, this is great. This is great. I love that they absolutely integrated this into the gunner's mount. Very useful. I'd like to have seen more of these types of features built into the mount, given the amount of money that I paid for this. However, I do have the master bench block from Real Avid, and that's, you know, kind of the gold standard, to be honest. Let's just be real. But you know, you get what you can get with what we have to work with. I'm not complaining. I'm just you know, just spitballing, just thinking out loud. But yeah, fantastic. Let's go ahead and set that aside. Let's talk about this guy right here. It's going to be a little difficult to demonstrate this, but yeah, what we can do with this puck is install the trigger guard. So let me see if I can remember how to do this. Oh yeah, just like that. Yeah. So you basically just seat the lower receiver here, and you go ahead and position it in a way that you feel is most comfortable. And what this does, I know it's difficult to demonstrate this because this doesn't have the trigger guard. It's got this built-in material here. But if you're installing a trigger guard, what you absolutely want, especially around here, is a little bit of support from something. You know, people use pieces of wood, people use, you know, whatever they can, a box, you know, whatever. So when you're, you know, driving in the pins, you know, it's really easy to break your low receiver, and then it's, you know, you're not going to be able to install a trigger guard, and it's going to suck. But yeah, so that's what this little puck does. And of course, there's cutouts everywhere. So if you even have a partially assembled, what's it called, lower receiver, you know, it's not going to be a big deal. It's going to be able to fit nicely. You know, let me go ahead and give you an exposed view. Yeah, see, it's not moving around at all. Yeah, so right here's the bolt catch. It's seated nice and neat. Yeah, all I'm doing is just, yeah, I'm just seating it in there. It's not going to go anywhere. Then, of course, I can rotate it around. And there's quite a few other things that you can do here. You can certainly, it might be a little challenging, but you might be able to install a, let me see, hold on, let me see something. Never mind, I lied. So yeah, this is mainly just for the trigger guard installation. Let me see what this part is called. This is called the gunner's puck trigger. Okay. All right. What else do we have here? Now, this is a really, really interesting part of the tool. Oh, let me go ahead and turn that around. Or an interesting part of this entire setup. Oh, let me go ahead and read off the name here. So this is the lower receiver block. Interesting. So the way that this thing installs, the way that this thing is used, it basically installs or goes onto the gunner's mount exactly the same way. You can move it whichever way you'd like, but you definitely want to buy this in conjunction with this part right here. Where'd it go? Oh, right here. And this is the receiver alignment block. And that goes right here. So the way that this works is you want to get your lower receiver. We're going to go ahead and drop it in. And again, we have cutouts for this to interface with the magazine catch. And yeah, this isn't going anywhere. So what is happening here? Oh, hold on. Wait. Yeah, so what we got going on here, these cutouts, they'll interface with the magazine catch, and then of course the front pivot pin is going to interface right here with this portion of the lower receiver block. So right now I'm depressing the magazine block, or the magwell, the magazine catch, goodness. And then I'm going to go ahead and push in the front pivot pin. So this is not going to go anywhere, you guys. This is literally not going to go anywhere. Give you the exposed view. So what is happening here is reversed. So what you would want to do is install the receiver extension tube. I'm not going to go ahead and do this right now because, one, this is an enhanced receiver extension tube. But a mil-spec one, yeah, I'm going to demonstrate this eventually. I've already done this on a build. I should have recorded it. But yeah, so essentially what it does is you're going to, at some point, you're going to go ahead and install your lower receiver, or not the lower receiver, I apologize. You're going to install the receiver extension tube along with the castle nut, along with the end plate here. And when you're ready to torque this down, if you don't have an enhanced receiver extension tube, I talked about this in other videos. It's really easy for it to be misaligned. So if it's like supposed to be like this, sometimes it'll go like that. And it's really, really annoying. However, this present arms jig solves that problem with this receiver extension alignment tool. So essentially, this is what is happening. So this is not going to go anywhere. This is not going to go anywhere. I'm going to give you the exposed view from the rear. This is essentially what is going on, you guys. This is essentially what is going on. And, you know, I'm going to go ahead and give you the exposed view. Yeah, so with the lower receiver like this, I know this is not the most scientific explanation. I really wish I can demo this for you. And those videos will come. But, yeah, this solves the problem. So if you don't want to spend the extra 10, 15 bucks on, you know, an enhanced receiver extension tube, if you're a hardcore hobbyist and you want to buy this setup, you absolutely can. It will keep your receiver extension tube straight. Now, this makes a lot of sense for me because when I'm assembling an AR-15 and somebody is like, okay, well, here's all the parts, I usually do my pitch and I recommend something like this that is enhanced. This is enhanced receiver extension tube. I just do not like to deal with it. I never had anything to align, you know, to keep these things aligned, to keep them in place while I am torquing down the castle nut. And then, of course, I've seen it with my own eyes, people literally staking the castle nut and the receiver extension tube moves. So yeah, man. But now it's just like, okay, I don't have to deal with it, you know, because I have extra receiver extension tubes that are enhanced. I actually have quite a few. Yeah, so no longer do I have to bother with this. And I'm actually going to be using this receiver extension tube that's enhanced for one of my own personal builds. And I'm still going to go ahead and use this. As a matter of fact, when I go ahead and get that thing in, because my lower receiver is currently being Cerakoted, when it comes in, I'm going to go ahead and demo this thing the way that it was meant to. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys this product. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.